of Taiwan. I'm Ethan Liu with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. An Israeli diplomat working in China is stable in hospital after an apparent knife attack in Beijing. Israel's foreign ministry confirmed that an Israeli embassy employee in Beijing was attacked on the street. A video being shared on the internet appears to show the man was stabbed. The incident comes as Israel carries out airstrikes in Gaza in retaliation for the surprise attack by Hamas. However, it's still not clear what sparked the incident, and no one has claimed responsibility. A Taipei court has ruled in favor of an inmate wanting to vote in Taiwan's upcoming elections while imprisoned. The inmate, surnamed Lin, had been denied the right to cast his ballot in prison by election authorities. They recommended he get permission to leave the prison in order to vote. The court said this was unsuitable and that Lin's voting rights are not affected by his status as a prisoner. It ordered that a voting booth be set up at the prison. Taiwan Central Election Commission says it will appeal the ruling.
我们的选罢法并没有类似外国不在籍投票或者是所谓的缺席投票的制度。他进去投票的时候没有戒护人员，他也不能够来携带这个械具，这样的情形在你的维安有没有问题？
Local politics this week has been dominated by talk of opposition presidential candidates looking to form a joint ticket against Lai Ching-te, the frontrunner from the ruling Democratic Progressive Party. Now Lai is looking to get back some of the spotlight. Rick Lauer reports.
Here in the capital, Taipei, leading presidential candidate for the ruling Democratic Progressive Party, Lai Ching-te, is laying out his vision for what his role of the country could look like. Lai may be ahead in the polls, but it's the opposition candidates that have been hogging headlines. This week, they're meeting to discuss uniting against him and running on a joint ticket. With this event, Lai hopes that his policies will get back on the agenda.
台湾在国际的话语权上面相对来少，而且国际社会了解台湾常常不是经由台湾的心声，而是透过别的国家的管道。所以呢，在这部分上面，我们应该要积极。 去改善这个事情。
It's the big topics like Taiwan's national defense and its relationship with neighboring China that often define presidential elections here. But other issues like the rising cost of living, the country's aging population, and protecting the country's unique culture are also important to voters. With events like this, Lai Ching-te is hoping to remind the voting population that he's the one to address these issues. Eason Chen and Rick Lauer in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
A guide has been released for Taiwanese voters to understand presidential and legislative candidates' gender policies. Tiffany Wong takes a look at LGBTQ advocates' fight for legal protections over the years.
友善政治进国会，彩虹选民站出来。
Holding lawmakers accountable. These LGBTQ activists are pushing for Taiwan's public officials to speak out on gender issues. And they've launched a voter guide called Pride Watch for the upcoming national and local elections.
对于整个社会来说，可以有对性别友善的政治人物，还有对政治议题关注的民众，其实是一件非常重要的事情。
The activists invited all presidential, legislative, and local candidates in Taiwan to sign a statement of support for LGBTQ rights on the online platform. Voters can use the platform to search for candidates' voting records. The website also encourages members of the LGBTQ community to register to vote. Taiwan is known as a safe haven for LGBTQ people. In 2019, the country became the first in Asia to legalize same-sex marriage. But activists here say they need to continuously hold politicians to account to protect their rights. Despite same-sex marriage being legalized, public opinion at the time was mixed. LGBTQ rights activists say disinformation about the community contributes to their continuing battle for equal rights. And the spread of false information is worse during an election campaign.
There's quite a lot of disinformation regarding human rights, LGBT rights. Based on our observation, we noticed there's around 40% increasing right before the election, no matter that is local election or presidential election. Even if that is local election, you can see LGBTQ rights can be effective impact, negative impact among the election.
With just 3 months left before Taiwan's general elections, no candidates have come out with strong stances on LGBTQ issues. But the voters are watching. And Pride Watch aims to continue speaking out for equality even when politicians don't. Justin Wu, Rick Glowert, and Tiffany Wong in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
The first same-sex dating reality program produced in Taiwan is premiering in Taipei.
会不会期待跟我有下一次的约会？
The show Boys Like Boys features a diverse cast of queer men living together in a house in central Taiwan. Taiwan became the first country in Asia to legalize same-sex marriages in 2019 and will host the continent's biggest Pride event at the end of the month. Despite this, many in the community say there is still room for improvement. Our reporter Reese Ayers spoke to one of the contestants from the program about the inclusion of LGBTQ people in media in Taiwan.
What does it mean for Taiwan's queer community to have a same-sex dating show?
I think it speaks volumes for the representation of not only Taiwan, but I think Asia, just in the grand scheme of the LGBT movement. I think it's been a difficult struggle in Asia because East Asia in particular tends to be quite, I would say, like a traditional mindset-based community. So it's very difficult for like the newer generation to speak up on issues that maybe the older generation deem as being a bit taboo. So I think that for like larger scale media to be visibly in support of LGBT issues and of the LGBT community, I think it means a lot for people who maybe don't have that much of a voice, whether it's due to just the community at large or like traditional values.
And how many queer people can we see in the media in Taiwan these days?
As it stands, I don't think there are that many. I think that's kind of why like a show like this is it's even more important and bears that much more weight, is because I think a lot of people feel that Taiwan is already this sort of beacon of hope for Asia. We've still got such a long way to go in terms of not only the representation, but giving just your everyday queer person the confidence to be themselves. So yeah, we definitely still have a long way to go.
Do you think this show might inspire more queer programming in Taiwan?
I think that largely depends on how the show does. I think as soon as like the general community at large is at least neutral or in an ideal situation in support of LGBT-based content, then I think the rest will follow suit. But this definitely marks a huge step for the LGBT community, and I'm really glad that we have, in a way, sort of normalized that, because we've always seen a lot of heterosexual dating shows and, you know, heterosexual relationships in movies and series for as long as they've existed. And it's very beautiful to see that Taiwan is being a leader in normalizing that for the queer community as well. I think it's a very important step for not only Taiwan, but Asia at large.
That was Reese Ayers speaking with Neo, a contestant on Taiwan's first gay dating show. Taiwan's Environment Ministry has added new rules to cut down on the country's carbon emissions. If large industrial emitters meet reduction targets, they'll get lowered emission fees and earn carbon credits. Those can be sold on the carbon trading platform. The rules have incentives for individual citizens too. They can earn credits for trading in old vehicles or appliances for newer, cleaner models. These rules take effect next year. Environmental groups, on the other hand, have criticized the initiatives for being too business-friendly. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with images of people doing cosplay at this year's New York Comic Con. I'm Ethan Liu. Take care, and I'll see you next time.